All right, so get this.
Okay.
Today, we are diving into the world of tarot,
All right.
but hold on to your hats because we are swapping out the crystal ball for something a little more, shall we say, chewy?
This is fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's not every day we get to explore the mysteries of life through, well, a Tootsie Roll.
Exactly. You sent us this really interesting spread
Yeah.
that uses Tootsie Roll themes to, like, understand different aspects of your life.
Right.
And honestly, I am so here for it.
Before we jump in,
Yeah.
could you give us a quick rundown on what a tarot spread actually is?
Oh, yeah.
Just in case someone out there is,
Yeah.
new to the tarot game?
Absolutely. Think of a tarot spread like a map.
Okay.
You lay out the cards in a specific way. And each position on that map represents a different area of your life or a different aspect of a question.
Like to get a multifaceted perspective.
You got it.
Okay.
And what makes this spread extra intriguing is that it uses, well, the humblest of treats, the Tootsie Roll.
I like it.
Apparently, even something as simple as a Tootsie Roll can hold some surprising insights. So we'll be looking at 3 different tarot decks and how they interpret each card position in relation to our Chewy friend here.
Okay.
Should be fascinating to see what we uncover. Ready to unwrap this?
Let's do it.
Perfect. The first card position we're looking at is all about the wrapper.
All right.
Kind of like the energy currently surrounding you.
Right.
And get this.
Yep.
The first deck throws us a pretty positive card. Positive karma.
Nice. What does that tell us?
Well, it seems like your past good deeds, all that good karma you've been racking up, might be about to deliver some sweet rewards. It suggests that patience and perseverance are about to pay off big time.
I love that.
Right?
It connects so well with the Tootsie Roll imagery, too.
Yeah.
Good things come to those who wait, just like that chewy, chocolatey center.
It's true.
What's interesting is that the second deck offers a slightly different perspective.
Oh.
It gives us the Knight of Swords.
Okay.
A card usually associated with action, quick decisions, and seizing opportunities.
So maybe a bit of a be ready to make a move kind of vibe?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like the good karma is coming your way, but you might need to be prepared to act fast, to think on your feet, and grab those opportunities as they present themselves.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Just go for it.
I like that. Okay, so we've got patience rewarded.
Right.
And a little nudge to stay alert.
Yes.
What's the third deck have to say about the wrapper?
This deck throws us another interesting curveball.
Oh.
With the Ace of Wands.
Okay.
It's all about new beginnings.
Okay.
A spark of inspiration, that fiery passion to start something new.
Yeah.
It's like that burst of energy you get when you unwrap a Tootsie Roll and you're ready to dive in.
That's a great analogy.
Right.
So just from this first card, we have a lot to unpack, right? It's like a mix of reaping what you've sown.
It is.
Being ready for quick action.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of fresh start energy.
Totally.
All bundled into one.
Absolutely. And what's fascinating is how these different interpretations layer on top of each other.
Right.
It isn't about choosing one or the other.
Right.
But rather seeing how all these energies might be at play in your life right now.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Okay. So we've explored the wrapper.
Right.
What's surrounding us.
Yes.
But now I'm really curious about what's inside.
Okay.
Time to sink our teeth into the next card position.
You mean time for
Yes.
the chew?
The chew.
I like where this is going.
All right, so we've talked about the energies coming your way, the wrapper.
Yeah.
But now let's dig into the part of the Tootsie Roll experience that requires a little more, shall we say, dedication.
You mean the chew?
The chew, exactly. That slow, deliberate, savoring kind of energy. What needs a patient touch in your life right now?
Okay.
That's what this card position is all about.
I like it.
And for this one, the first deck gives us a card with, well, a pretty intense sounding name.
Okay.
The 999 card.
That does sound ominous.
Right.
But
yeah.
It's not as scary as it sounds.
Okay.
In numerology, the number 9 is often associated with endings,
okay,
completion,
right,
and things coming full circle.
Got it.
So this card isn't really about like something to fear,
Yeah.
but rather about understanding that certain cycles need to run their course naturally.
So it's less about actively chewing and more about that Tootsie Roll patience of letting things unfold in their own time.
Exactly. It's like trusting that the flavor will come.
Right.
But maybe try not to bite down too hard just yet.
I like that. Okay, so patience in letting things play out.
Right.
What do the other decks have to say about this whole chew concept?
Well, the second deck gets pretty specific here.
Oh.
It actually gives us 3 cards for this position.
Wow. Okay.
The 5 of Pentacles.
Okay.
The Lovers.
Okay.
And the Ace of Cups.
Whoa, 3 cards. That's a lot to chew on. What's the overall vibe there?
It suggests that patience might be needed on a couple different fronts in your life right now.
Okay.
Particularly when it comes to matters of the heart.
Right.
And your finances.
Okay, so love and money, 2 pretty biggies.
Right.
What's the breakdown?
Well, the 5 of Pentacles can sometimes indicate feeling a bit stuck.
Okay.
Maybe even a little left out in the cold.
Yeah.
It often comes up when someone is facing challenges.
Right.
Particularly financial ones.
So a bit of a things are tough right now kind of feeling.
Yes.
Yeah.
But remember,
right.
We also have the Lovers card.
Okay.
And the Ace of Cups here.
Okay.
The Lovers speaks to connection,
right,
harmony,
yeah,
and making choices that align with your heart.
Right, right.
And the Ace of Cups represents emotional fulfillment.
Okay.
New beginnings in love.
Okay.
And that feeling of being truly fulfilled.
So even though there might be some struggles, especially with finances,
yeah,
there's also a strong possibility for deep connection.
Yes.
And emotional happiness. It's like saying,
totally.
Hang in there.
Right.
The good stuff is coming.
Yeah.
But you might need to weather a little storm first.
Exactly. It's that classic Tootsie Roll wisdom. Sometimes the best things are worth chewing on for a while.
I love it. Okay, so we've got one deck emphasizing the patience of letting go.
Right.
Another pointing to potential challenges in love and finances.
Yes.
That ultimately lead to something amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
What's the third deck bring to the table?
This deck echoes that message of emotional fulfillment with its choice. The Ace of Cups.
Interesting.
Just like we saw in the second deck.
So both of these last 2 decks really seem to be emphasizing this idea of slow-burning emotional fulfillment, something that needs time and nurturing to fully blossom.
Yeah, it's like that saying,
right.
Good things come to those who wait.
Yeah.
This is definitely the chew part of the reading.
Right.
Where patience is key.
I'm with you on that. Okay, so we've looked at what's coming up and where we might need to practice a little patience.
Right.
But now,
yes,
for the moment, I think we've both been waiting for the big reveal, what hidden surprises are in store.
Let's see.
It's time to unwrap the chocolate twist.
Let's see what we've got. The first deck goes straight for the heartstrings with this one.
Okay.
I get butterflies when I see you.
Ooh la la la. Someone's got a crutch.
Yeah.
So we're talking romance here.
It definitely points to a possible romantic surprise.
Okay.
A new love interest entering the scene.
Yeah.
A sudden confession.
Right.
Or maybe just a surge of excitement and happiness.
Yeah.
Within your current relationship.
It's like biting into that Tootsie Roll and finding an extra gooey, extra chocolatey center. What a delicious surprise.
Right.
All right, deck 2.
Okay.
What kind of chocolate twist do you have in store for us?
This deck takes a slightly different approach.
Okay.
With the 4 of Pentacles.
Okay.
This card is often associated with stability.
Right.
Security,
okay,
and holding on to something precious.
So maybe not a lovey-dovey surprise,
right? Yeah.
But a welcome one nonetheless.
Right.
It's like that feeling of knowing you've got a good thing going.
Yeah.
And wanting to savor it.
Precisely. This card might suggest an unexpected financial windfall.
Okay.
A deepening sense of security in your home life.
Right.
Or maybe even just a moment of realizing how much you truly appreciate what you have.
It's like you've been chewing on this Tootsie Roll, maybe taking it for granted a little.
Right, right.
And then bam!
Yeah.
You remember how much you love that classic?
Yes.
Comforting flavor?
Exactly.
Right.
And sometimes those are the best surprises of all, right? The ones that remind us to appreciate the simple goodness in our lives.
Absolutely. Okay, so I've got romance, we've got stability.
Okay.
What's the final chocolate twist?
Okay.
According to deck 3.
This deck gives us the 8 of Cups.
Okay.
A card that often represents walking away from something.
Okay.
There's no longer serving you.
Right.
Even if it means stepping into the unknown.
Ooh, interesting. So this surprise might be less about something being handed to you.
Right.
And more about having the courage to create your own happiness.
Yes.
Even if it means leaving something behind.
That's a great way to put it. It's about trusting your intuition.
Yeah.
And being willing to walk away from something that's no longer fulfilling.
Right.
Even if it feels scary.
Right.
Or uncertain.
Like realizing that even though you love Tootsie Rolls, maybe there's a whole world of delicious candy out there.
Right, exactly.
Just waiting to be discovered.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to let go of the familiar to make room for something even better.
That's a fantastic analogy.
Yep.
It speaks to the idea that sometimes the biggest surprises come from within ourselves.
Right.
From finding the courage to follow our hearts.
Yes.
And trust that something amazing is waiting just around the corner.
Wow. I love how each of these chocolate twists offers a totally different flavor of surprise.
Right.
It really goes to show that life is full of unexpected detours and delightful discoveries.
It is, yeah.
What speaks to you most from these interpretations?
You know, what stands out to me is how this playful Tootsie Roll theme actually led us to some pretty profound insights. It reminds us that wisdom and guidance can be found in the most unexpected places.
Right.
Even in the simple things we often take for granted.
I couldn't agree more. It's like this spread is saying, hey, life is full of surprises, both big and small.
Yeah.
Embrace the unexpected, savor every moment.
Right.
And don't be afraid to go after what you truly desire.
Beautifully said.
So as we wrap up this deliciously insightful deep dive, we have one final question for you. If your life were a Tootsie Roll, what would the wrapper, the chew of the chocolate twist, represent for you right now?
Ooh.
That's something to ponder. Thanks for joining us on this unique journey into the world of taro and Tootsie Rolls. Until next time.
Okay, so get this, right? We're about to dive into your life, and we're using, wait for it, candy corn taro.
And this isn't like some Halloween gimmick or anything.
Oh, yeah.
We're taking those 3 readings you gave us, each with its own deck, and we're going to peel back the layers, candy corn style, to see what makes you tick.
Yeah, and I got to be honest, when I first heard candy corn taro, I was picturing those waxy little things trying to, tell my fortune.
Right.
But the way this spread mirrors the candy corn, first impressions, then that chewy center of what's really going on, and then that solid base of what grounds you, that's actually kind of brilliant.
Totally. It's like going beyond those, superficial readings and putting together something way more nuanced and,
juicy.
Yeah.
So let's dive into that top layer, that sugary first impression. Your deck 1 card was 444. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's not your typical tarot card.
Right.
But it's a number sequence that's packed with meaning.
Big time. 444 is often about protection, you've got guardian angels looking out for you and this unshakable stability.
Okay, so right off the bat, it sounds like you come across as someone who's calm, dependable.
Totally. Someone others just instinctively feel safe around.
Like that feeling of, yeah, they've got this.
Exactly.
And it's not just about appearing stable. The source material mentioned the earth element being strongly linked to 444,
right,
which just adds to that whole grounded, practical, salt of the earth vibe.
It's that I've got both feet firmly planted on the ground energy,
Love it. Now, for deck 2's first impression, we've got a major arcana card, the world. And anyone who's even glanced at a tarot deck knows those major arcana cards. They're the big leaguers.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They're dealing with the big life themes, the universal truths.
Exactly.
And the world is all about completion, fulfillment, having that quiet confidence that comes with experience.
That worldly wisdom, you've seen a thing or two.
Exactly. So in the context of first impressions, it seems like you might come across as someone who's got it all figured out.
Someone super secure in their path, accomplished, the whole package.
Okay, so we're seeing a theme here, right? Both 444 and the world are pointing to this aura of capability, of being very put together. But then deck 3 throws us a bit of a curveball with the 5 of Swords, and suddenly things just got really interesting.
Ooh, yeah, tell me more.
Because we go from these super solid, stable energies to a card that's all about, conflict, tension.
Oh.
Even potentially feeling misunderstood. It's like that candy coating might have a little bit of,
a little bite to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like you're saying, yeah, I'm put together, I'm capable, but, approach with caution.
I love that.
And what's fascinating is that the source material links the 5 of Swords to Venus in Aquarius, in your case.
Okay.
So how does that play into all of this?
Well, that's where things get even more interesting. See, Venus in Aquarius, it's all about this strong drive for independence, maybe even a little unconventionality in your values. And that can sometimes lead to, some bumps in the road, especially with those who don't quite get where you're coming from.
So it's not necessarily about being difficult. It's more about like marching to the beat of your own drum, even if that ruffles a few feathers along the way.
Exactly. It adds this layer of complexity. Like, yeah, you might be approachable, but there's a depth to you that not everyone gets access to, you know?
Ooh, I love that. It's like you have this beautiful antique book,
Ooh.
like charming and alluring on the surface, but when you open it up, there are all these hidden passages and secret stories just waiting to be, discovered.
I love that analogy.
But to get to those stories, we got to go deeper beyond that first impression.
Right.
Which is exactly what we're going to do when we come back, because we're diving into the center of your candy corn tarot reading, that chewy center, where things get really insightful. Okay, so we're back and ready to get a little chewy.
Right.
We're diving into the center of your candy corn tarot spread.
Okay.
Which is all about what's really going on, like the core of your current situation.
That's good stuff.
The good stuff, exactly. And your deck 1 card for this layer is, well, it's intriguing, to say the least. It's Solitude. Now, I know that's not your typical tarot card, but sometimes the most powerful messages are the simplest, right?
Totally. I mean, the word itself speaks volumes, And when you look at the source material, it's clear that solitude in this position, it's about introspection, creating space to really process your emotions.
Like that soft, chewy center of the candy corn, right? Like it's a little hidden, a little more vulnerable.
Definitely more vulnerable, yeah.
So we're not necessarily talking about being physically alone, but more about what's happening internally.
Exactly. It's about that inner world, that inner landscape.
And the source material links this card to the Hermit energy, which is all about self-discovery, analysis, really understanding when you need that alone time to recharge.
Yes. That's so important.
So important. But then deck 2 throws us a curveball, or should I say, throws the same curveball twice. Because guess what card shows up again? The 5 of Swords.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, twice. And you know what they say? When a card appears multiple times in a reading, it's like the universe is trying to tell you something.
Oh, absolutely. It's like, hello, pay attention.
Right. Like this isn't just a fleeting first impression anymore. This is something deep.
Yeah, this is like ingrained.
So we can't ignore those hints of conflict or tension that we talked about earlier.
Right.
This suggests there's something more significant happening in your life right now.
Yeah, and the source material, they don't sugarcoat it either.
Oh, no.
No, they use some pretty strong language. Unresolved arguments, power struggles, even the possibility of betrayal.
Whoa.
It's heavy stuff.
And remember that whole Venus and Aquarius connection we talked about?
Oh, yeah.
That energy is back in the mix as well.
Of course.
So it's like that independent streak, those unique values you embody. They might be causing some friction in your relationships.
Right, or even within yourself,
That's like you're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole.
Ooh, I like that.
It might work for a little while, but eventually...
something's got to give.
Exactly. So are there any areas in your life where you might be experiencing this kind of clash of values, where you feel like you're not quite on the same page as others? It's something to, think about.
It's a good question to sit with.
Yeah, because once you identify those areas of dissonance,
yes,
then you can actually start to navigate them, right?
Exactly, with awareness and intention.
Okay, so speaking of intention, let's see what kind of energy deck 3 brings to help navigate these, these choppy waters, right? Because you're dealing with some, potentially challenging energies here. But deck 3 delivers a much-needed dose of strength.
Ooh. I like.
Literally the strength card.
Nice.
We're back in Major Arcana territory, baby.
Oh, yes. Major Arcana, always a good sign.
Right. So it's like, even though things might feel a little rocky right now, this card is like a reassuring hand on your shoulder, reminding you that you've got this.
Exactly. And strength, it's not about like flexing your muscles or anything. It's about courage, resilience, that deep inner strength that lets you face anything.
It's about that inner fire.
Yes.
All right, so we're back, and it's time to talk about that solid base, the foundation of your candy corn tarot spread.
Okay.
This layer, it represents what grounds you, what keeps you steady, even when things get a little,
a little cheery.
A little chewy.
Yeah.
Exactly. And your deck 1 card for this layer, it's powerful. It's I Miss You.
Wow.
Right? Not your typical tarot card, but sometimes those are the ones that hit the hardest.
Totally. Those real raw emotions.
Exactly. And the source material, it really emphasizes that emotional core.
Yeah.
Talks about longing, a connection to someone from the past, like a relationship that still has meaning, even now.
Like a relationship that's like woven into the fabric of who you are.
Yes. Exactly. And it makes you think about that base of the candy corn, right?
Okay.
It's not the flashy part, but it's what holds everything else up.
It's the anchor.
It's the anchor, exactly. And the source material, it connects this I miss you card to the moon.
Interesting.
Which is all about intuition, emotions, and how the past shapes us, right?
Right.
So it's like this grounding you feel, it could be tied to your intuition, to those experiences that have made you who you are.
It's like those memories become part of your foundation.
Yes. Even if the relationship itself has changed or,
Transition.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so speaking of strong foundations, deck 2 brings us a core card.
The Queen of Cups.
Ooh, the Queen of Cups. Nice. And the Queen of Cups, she's like the embodiment of empathy, emotional intelligence.
Oh, yeah, she's all about those feelings.
Right. She's super nurturing to herself and to others.
She's the ultimate caretaker.
So when it comes to grounding,
yeah,
it seems like you draw strength from your ability to connect with your emotions and the emotions of others.
That makes sense.
Like you have this deep well of empathy, and that creates stability.
It's like that saying, the only way out is through.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, you got to feel it to heal it.
Okay, so last but not least, deck 3 brings us back to major arcana territory with the Star.
Ooh, the Star.
And the Star is such a beautiful card, right? It's hope, it's renewal, it's that feeling of like, okay, no matter what, things are going to be all right.
It's like a beacon of light.
Exactly. And in the context of grounding, it suggests that your optimism, that belief in a brighter future, it's one of your biggest strengths.
No, I love that.
It's like that knowing, that deep down knowing that everything works out in the end.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is. This has been such an amazing journey through your candy corn tarot spread. We started with those first impressions, explored some of those, maybe challenging energies at your core.
Right.
And then we found those incredible sources of strength and grounding.
It's amazing how it all comes together.
It is.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you, you can find insight in the most unexpected places, even candy corn.
Right. Who knew?
Who knew? So until next time, keep exploring, keep asking those big questions, and most importantly, keep shining bright.
All right, so get this. Today's deep dive is taking us into, well, uncharted territory, you could say. We're talking tarot, but here's the twist. With a Milk Duds spin.
Okay, I have to admit, I'm intrigued. Milk Duds and tarot. Tell me more.
Right. You sent in the spread, and honestly, I was hooked from the moment I saw it. Who knew candy could offer such a fun way to look at life's ups and downs?
It really speaks to the idea that we can find meaning in the most unexpected places, even a simple milk dud, right?
Absolutely, and that's what we love, exploring those hidden depths and unexpected connections. So we're diving headfirst into your Milk Bud spread today, using those spot-on card interpretations you provided.
I'm ready. Now, just remind me, how does this spread work again?
Right, so there are 3 cards, each representing a different layer of a milk dud. Kind of like how our own lives have these different layers,
Yeah, totally. Love that analogy. So we're peeling back the layers, getting to the good stuff.
Exactly. And we start with that smooth chocolate coating. This card is all about the energy you're currently radiating out into the world, those first impressions.
Like the vibe you give off, right? What people pick up on when they first meet you. Yeah. Okay, I'm ready. Hit me with it. What do the cards reveal about your chocolate coating energy?
Okay, so get that we actually have 3 different interpretations for this position. You used a different deck each time, right? So it's like getting 3 unique perspectives on the same question, which I find fascinating.
Oh, that is cool. It's like getting a 3D view of this energy.
Exactly. Okay, let's start with the first interpretation. Deck 1 came in strong with, "Let's rule the world."
Whoa. Talk about making a statement. That just screams confidence, ambition, right? Like ready to take on anything.
Right. You nailed it. This card often points to those natural leadership qualities that drive to succeed, a real go-getter energy. Like, think of it like that bold, in-your-face flavor of the chocolate immediately grabbing your attention.
I like it. It's definitely got that I'm here to make things happen energy.
For sure.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, how might this be playing out in your life right now? That feeling of taking charge, going after what you want.
Yeah, something to think about. But before we get too comfortable on our thrones, let's see what perspective the second deck brings. What's next?
Okay, so deck 2, it offered the Queen of Wands.
Ooh, the Queen of Wands. Now, she sounds intriguing. What's her energy like?
Think charisma, that magnetic energy that draws people in, and a strong sense of creativity. She knows her worth, goes after what she wants, but with this air of confidence and warmth.
Wow, I'm already drawn to her. 2 cards in, And we're seeing a theme here. Confidence, leadership, a real take-charge attitude.
Definitely. It seems like you're really stepping into your power lately. Okay, drum roll, please. What does the third deck reveal about this already powerful energy?
Okay, let's see. Deck 3 takes us in a bit of a different direction with the Three of Swords.
Three of Swords. That sounds a little more introspective, maybe, than let's rule the world. What's the vibe here?
Yeah, this one is often associated with heartbreak, loss, emotional pain. It's that feeling of having your heart pierced, you know?
Whoa, that is quite a contrast to those first two cards. So how do we reconcile these seemingly opposite energies? On the one hand, this bold, confident leader, and then this element of hurt, of sadness. What do you think?
That's a really good question. It just goes to show the complexity of human experience, right?
Yeah.
Like even with those Milk Duds, you have that sweet chocolate exterior, but there's always a chance of a little bitterness mixed in there too.
Love that analogy. So true.
This card, though, it encourages you to acknowledge those tougher emotions, to work through them. It's not about ignoring the hard stuff.
It makes you wonder, maybe those past experiences, even the painful ones, those are actually part of what shaped you into the strong, ambitious person you are today.
Exactly. Every experience, good or bad, it all contributes to our growth. It's about finding the lessons, allowing ourselves to heal, to become even stronger on the other side.
Such a powerful message, and a good reminder that we're all complex beings, right? We have our strengths, our vulnerabilities. It's about embracing all of it.
Right, so we're talking about embracing all parts of ourselves, the good, the not so good. And speaking of, let's dive into that sticky center, shall we? This is where things get really interesting.
Oh yeah, this is the good stuff. We're talking about what we might be holding on to, even if it's not doing us any favors anymore.
It's like those things we just can't seem to let go of. Old habits, those limiting beliefs, maybe even just memories that keep us stuck in the past.
Totally. And it's so easy to get stuck in that sticky caramel center. It's like it has this magnetic pull, even when we know it's time to move on. So tell me, what sticky situations did the cards reveal for you in this reading?
Okay, so deck 1 gives us a card that, well, might seem a little out of place here. It's You Are Beautiful.
You are beautiful. On the surface, that doesn't exactly sound like a sticky situation, does it? In fact, it sounds pretty empowering. How does this fit into the theme?
It all comes down to self-perception, those stories we tell ourselves, even if they're not true. This card, in this position, it suggests there might be some lingering insecurities or self-doubt, maybe even past criticisms that haven't quite faded away.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. So even though the message itself is positive, it's highlighting an area where you might struggle to fully believe it, to really internalize that truth.
Yeah, and that struggle, that internal back and forth, it can create a sticky situation. It can hold you back from fully embracing your own worth, from going after those opportunities where you really get to shine.
It's like that saying sometimes, our own minds are our biggest critics. We can be our own worst enemies.
Exactly. It's a good reminder to challenge those negative thoughts,
Yeah.
to step into that confident energy we were talking about with those first two cards.
For sure. Okay, on to deck 2. What sticky situation did it reveal?
Get ready for a bit of a shakeup. Deck 2 brings us the Tower card.
The Tower card. Oh, that's one I've always associated with major change. And, well, not always the easy kind. What does it usually represent?
It's those big life events, the ones that completely rock our world, force us to rebuild from scratch. Think of it like, well, a lightning bolt striking a tower, shattering any illusion of control we might have.
Okay, yeah, definitely not subtle. So how does this tie into that idea of something being sticky?
Imagine that rubble that's left behind after a tower collapses. Sometimes we hold on to pieces of that rubble, the memories, the pain, maybe even those what-ifs, even though they're preventing us from moving on.
Wow, that's a really powerful image, holding on to those broken pieces long after the tower has fallen. It makes you wonder, what are we so afraid of losing when we do that? Why the need to cling?
It's a good question, because often what's waiting for us on the other side of that fear, that's where the real growth happens. It's where we find renewal, a stronger foundation for the future. It might feel chaotic in the moment, but that Tower card, it's ultimately a card of liberation.
Ooh, I like that. A fresh start, a chance to rebuild. It's like the tower is clearing the way for something incredible to emerge. Okay, on to the final deck, deck 3. What did it uncover about this sticky layer?
This one is interesting, actually. The two-card combo, the Hermit paired with the Two of Wands.
2 cards. Okay, this is a first. We haven't seen that in this spread yet. What's the message here?
So it seems like you've been doing some deep inner work, some serious soul searching, which is represented by the Hermit. This card often points to a period of introspection, maybe solitude, like taking a step back from the busyness of life to really connect with your inner wisdom.
That definitely makes sense within this sticky center theme, right? When we allow ourselves that quiet time for reflection, we're forced to confront those sticky thoughts and emotions we might otherwise avoid.
Right. It's facing those inner demons, and let me tell you, that's often where the real growth happens, in those quiet moments of reflection. But here's where the stickiness comes in, with the Two of Wands. Now, this card is all about action, about expansion, putting yourself out there, and taking risks.
So it's like you've done the inner work, you've gained clarity during your hermit phase, but now there's maybe a hesitation to act on it, to step into that next chapter.
You got it. It's that feeling of being right on the edge of something new and amazing, but something's holding you back. Maybe it's fear, self-doubt, or honestly, sometimes it's just the comfort of what's familiar, even if we know deep down it's not what we truly want.
Ugh, it's like we're hardwired to resist change even when we know it's good for us.
It's human nature.
Yeah.
Right? But this card combination, it's a powerful reminder that real growth, that happens outside of our comfort zones. It's about trusting your gut, taking that leap of faith, and believing that something magical will happen when we finally let go of what's no longer serving us.
I think we could all use that reminder sometimes. Okay, well, after all that stickiness, I think we're more than ready for some sweetness. What sweet rewards are waiting for us on the other side of these challenges? All right, so we've explored that chocolate coating energy, right? The vibes you're putting out into the world. And we dug deep, got a little messy with those sticky center challenges, the things we might be holding on to. But now, for the moment of truth, the grand finale, the sweet reward. What awaits us on the other side of all that introspection and growth? What did the cards reveal?
Well, this is where we see the payoff, the potential, the amazing things that can happen when you lean into those challenges and really step into your power.
Okay, you've got me on the edge of my seat here. What does deck one say about this sweet reward? Lay it on me.
Deck 1 brings us a card that tends to get a strong reaction, 6666.
666. Okay, I'm not going to lie, that's not exactly what I pictured when I thought sweet reward. It feels a little ominous, you know? How is this card usually interpreted?
Yeah, I get it. It definitely has that reputation, right? People associate it with negativity, fear. But in this context, in the framework of your Milk Dud spread, it takes on a whole new meaning.
Okay, now I'm really interested. Tell me more. How does 666 translate into a sweet reward?
It's a reminder, a call for balance, specifically between the material and the spiritual sides of your life. It's like maybe you've been pushing hard, striving for success, all that good stuff, but maybe neglecting your inner world a little, your need for peace, for deeper meaning, you know? This card says that real sweetness, it comes from finding harmony between those two worlds.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's so easy to get caught up in chasing those external achievements that we forget to nurture ourselves on the inside.
It happens to the best of us. And oftentimes, that's when we end up feeling stuck, unfulfilled, even when we're ticking off those goals. So yeah, this card is like a little nudge from the universe. Prioritize self-care, connect with your intuition, feed your soul.
Such a good reminder. All right, what about deck two? What sweet reward does it have in store for us?
Well, we're actually seeing a familiar face here, the Two of Wands.
Oh, interesting. Oh, that card showed up in the sticky center too, right? It was talking about that hesitation to take action.
Yeah.
So how does it change when we're talking about rewards?
Think of it like this. It's like the culmination of that whole journey. See, by working through that stickiness, that self-doubt, by being bold enough to take action, you open yourself up to these amazing opportunities for growth. You know, it's that world is your oyster kind of energy.
No, that's what I'm talking about. So the reward here is all about saying yes to those adventures, trusting your gut, and just seeing where life takes you.
Exactly. Think travel, new relationships, maybe a career change, finally pursuing that creative passion, anything that lights you up, that lets you share your gifts with the world.
I'm feeling inspired. Okay, last but not least, deck three. What's the grand finale? The ultimate sweet reward.
Deck 3 brings us the Ten of Swords.
The Ten of Swords. Wait, isn't that the one with, well, all the swords? That doesn't exactly sound like a happy ending.
You're not wrong. It's often tied to endings that are painful, maybe a loss, or even betrayal. But remember what we said. Every ending is also a new beginning. It's just hard to see sometimes when you're in it.
Okay, I'm listening. So how does this card, the Ten of Swords, how does it represent a sweet reward within this reading?
Think of it as the closing of a chapter that wasn't serving you anymore. It might not be easy, but it's a necessary step. It's about making space for something new, something even better to come into your life.
So the sweet reward, it's that feeling of liberation, that fresh start. It's about finally releasing those burdens you've been carrying.
Exactly. It's about acknowledging those hard-earned lessons, looking for those silver linings, and trusting that you're being guided towards something better, something brighter.
Wow, what an incredible journey this has been. From that confident, ambitious chocolate coating through those sticky center challenges, and finally to this beautiful tapestry of balance, expansion, and renewal.
It's amazing what we can learn from a few milk duds, huh?
Right. It just goes to show life really is full of layers just like them. And each one, even the sticky parts, they all add something important to the mix. So for those of you listening, what resonated with you today? What milk dud layer are you navigating in your own life? We'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, keep exploring those hidden depths, keep asking those tough questions, and remember, life is full of sweet rewards. You just got to be open to unwrapping them.